audiences in the media industry really care about nature. 12,000 people globally were surveyed across 8 countries, and an overwhelming 82% of people said they supported the global goal to protect 30% of land and sea by 2030. What we see is that our audiences care about big picture stories and about local stories. Those sorts of stories about what it means to interact with nature and how that feels at a personal level. I suppose the key thing is to talk not about abstract concepts like ecosystems or biodiversity, but talk about specific places, species, events, moments that really kind of bring those to life for people. If you can measure the impact that your company is having on nature, you can link that for your business stakeholders to things that might make your business less resilient down the line. You can't make those choices if you haven't measured or understood what your impact is. Keep it practical and action oriented. Start with the data that you have. We started with the data that we already collected for our carbon audit, and then looked for a partner that could help us translate that into nature impacts.
3 in 5 UK adults agree they're more likely to recommend a company that protects nature close to home. And we also know that loyalty scores, so brands who are protecting nature, those loyalty scores go up massively as well. We came together with giffgaff to co-design a way of implementing contributions to nature within our existing supply chain. So it's a tripartite levy, originally designed for carbon and then moved into a nature restoration space. So we ask advertiser, agency and media partners to all contribute into this singular fund. Ecology are our fund partner. They verify and validate the funds that we invest in and the projects and give them credibility and accreditation. To date, we've got nearly $250,000 that we've funded into nature, 10 projects in the UK. We'd like people to take this concept and replicate it. We'd really like to sort of give this out to the industry and push it out to anyone who'd like to implement.
We've just been talking about the scale of the advertising industry. Cinema advertising is roughly about 120 million in the UK every year in spend. What happens if you make something that's really easy for any advertiser to opt into? And if they do opt into it, it starts supporting nature. Wild Spaces is an ad campaign for nature. We've shown Wild Spaces to over 20 million people in cinemas, effectively giving national parks an ad campaign worth over £1.7 million. We know that advertising messages are more impactful when people are feeling positive. 98% of people agree that Wild Spaces made them feel good about the brand's environmental actions. We showed Volvo's creative to a control group who saw it separately and to a group who saw it in cinema. And Volvo's desirability went up by 46%, which is quite astonishing. Well, this is what we're doing in cinema, but we feel that many other media owners, agencies, many other industries have an opportunity to help nature. That really, if we can just create products that make it easy for people to opt in, for maybe not always someone who's on the C-suite, but more middle management and people at the sort of the coalface of their work can make choices to support nature in their local communities.
This was a really, really simple campaign, but at its heart, it was empowering people to transform 1 metre of outdoor space for the good of the planet. We wanted to demonstrate how content can combine storytelling, entertainment, and a powerful nature message, and really how that's the perfect mix to encourage action and audience activation. We ran a series of print features, podcasts, web articles, hundreds of social posts, all entertaining and informing while pointing towards people to register their meter. More than 15,000 people had registered a meter. That's equivalent to 59 tennis courts, 2.5 football pitches, and it represents 15.5 new habitat-rich spaces that did not exist at the start of last year. This was probably the first time we realised that actually what we'd created had a bit of power. We did have 3 million social impressions, 2 million video views, 16,000 podcast downloads, and we put the campaign in front of more than 90,000 visitors at our live events.